Yo, peoples, what's up? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear your boy? It's your boy MM2K back again with another video. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be real quick. Just setting some things up here. Cause we live. We live now, y'all. Yo, check it out. All right, so I want to do a special MM2K. Yo, peoples, what's up? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear your boy? Echo. Okay, there we go. Want to do a little special video, chop up a few things as you can see. I want to talk about this Crackdown X enhanced. Horizon Zero Dawn hit 7.6 million. And then I'm going to talk a couple things Xbox. But I want to say good Saturday, everybody. This is going to be real quick because me and wifey, we got some things to take care of. You know what I'm saying? This weekend. And then I think I'm going to be joining your peoples. I hate to get in front of them when they announce it, but I'm excited. I think I'm going to be joining your peoples on the Smash podcast. They're doing an excellent 30-year anniversary of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport, man. That was a pinnacle movie even for an old dude like me. See some of these young cats up on it, man. It's making me real happy, man. You know what I'm saying? That the whole society ain't a lost cause. All right, they know the goodness, and they know when it's out there. They know where to go to get it. All right. So here's the deal. I'm not gonna go in the exact order of the line of the title. I'm gonna talk Xbox. Okay. And as y'all probably already know, I want to talk this Phil Spencer. Okay. All right. My man Nethos, he put out a Hellified video the other day about they hit me up on my phone. The hell they want. He put a Hellified video up about Phil Spencer. I've been trying to explain it a certain way, but he's explaining it in a way that I never could put it into context, man. This video is phenomenal. And I'm going to put a link to the video in the chat right now. You have to see this video. You have to see it. I said it last night on the podcast I did with Z and Nethos and Blue came through too. Because the reason why I say you have to see it is there's a lot of people that don't understand what our beef is in regards to what Phil had to say at DICE. Like they think we're blowing this out of proportion. They think we're making a big deal out of nothing. And what I want to let everybody know is that it's not so much what he had to say. It's in the delivery of the message. And Nethos put it out there so perfectly. I think this is one of his best videos. It needs to be, man. That thing should have thousands and thousands upon thousands and thousands of views, okay? So big up to my man Triple B. We doing big things, you know what I'm saying? Holy shit. Crap. I'm sorry. We done lost my gameplay. We can't do that. All right, there we go. So back. All right. Sorry about that, folks. So, here's why it was important for him to do that. And that's why it was instrumental for him, Nethos, to break it down like that. Because, again, we're looked at as people that are insensitive to things and plights and stuff that's going out there in the world, man. We don't care about nobody. We're this, we're that, we're bigots. That's how they look at us. It's Triple B. And that's not the farthest thing from the truth. Look, I told you, as an African-American male Fortune 500 company, manager of multiple groups, you know what I'm saying, in the position that I hold, trust me, I've heard some crazy things. And it's not stuff that I'm like, who cares? No, it's a problem, and I've had to deal with it in different ways, depending upon the facets that I came across it. With that being said, we live in a society now where we want to mix everything together. We want everything to be like gumbo. It's all in one pot. You know what I'm saying? And yes, politics is everywhere and diversity is an issue everywhere, but it's not an issue for everybody to address. Okay. Everybody wants to do everything and you're not good at everything. Hey, look, man, look, I get it. This is a society where you get the effort trophies. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no, you don't get the trophy just for effort because that's what pushes you to try harder so you can get the trophy. If everybody gets a trophy for effort, Then why try harder than what you're doing now? You know what I'm saying? A society cannot grow based upon that mentality. So what I'm basically saying is everybody's not good at everything. I get that Microsoft is working hard on diversity because they had the one thing where the girl was dancing at one of their events and she was real clad and all that other stuff and it didn't look right for Microsoft. Look, let me explain something to you. Even if you do want to change your message and change your appeal and change how you look to the conglomerate and to the consumer base, because that's something that you don't want to touch, scenery like that, that's fine. You ain't got to shoot yourself in the head for it, okay? It's not that serious. If Sony, and Z pointed this out last night on the podcast, if Sony can sit there and make a game where females were being tied up and attacked and abused for a trailer for The Last of Us 2, and if the Me Too movement can start bringing light to that and saying, what's going on, Sony? And if Sony can sit there in their seat and say, yo, this is an adult game made by adults for adults. Wipe their hands clean of it, brush the shoulders off and keep moving. Then I think Microsoft can do the same thing too. So we ain't got to keep beating yourself up because a vendor did something silly. We don't appreciate this at Microsoft. We didn't expect this at our party. We dealt with the vendor. This is not what we concur to. But on the horizon is coming State Decay 2. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that was a problem to me, to over apologizing. I tried to make up a new word, apologization. The over apologizing for something that was a dead cause because it was something that happened third party and you've already stated that you did not condone that activity. So that right there is a sign of weakness. Okay. Now, people are listening to this and they're probably saying, yo, MM2K, you bugging, bro. Because Sony can do that because it's Sony. And yes, I agree. There are some things that Sony says in the media that are overlooked because you have institutions, not only like IGNs and the game spots and all them, but you have Forbes. Man, Forbes is a serious Sony D-rider, man. I've never seen anything like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they hate Microsoft, at least the gaming division. You know what I mean? So they... well, you know, Sony always gets the benefit of the doubt when released in publications like that or in the media period. We're beyond that. But at the end of the day, you still are a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. You got to stand up for yourself and you got to show some grit. And again, to apologize for something like that means that you're falling prey. And you're actually giving power to the people that are being slanderous to you for no reason out in the media. Because if they can push your buttons that easily and make you so self-conscious of everything that you say where you're walking on eggshells and you can't stand firm on anything, then they're going to persuade you more than we, the consumers, can. You now, Microsoft, are in a position to where you follow the path of people that don't like you more than the people that support you. And that is a problem. There's no other way to chop it. And Neethles put it out there perfectly. Again, I repeat, because we're going to have some church right now. You are now in a position, Microsoft, where you cater more to the people that don't like you opposed to the people that support you. Let me give you a prime example. Everybody knows Alex Escobar. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? He be doing it up when he shows up on the multiplayer. I don't know what's up with Alex, man. He ain't been showing up for a little bit, baby, because he been on that PUBG a little bit. I don't know if he feeling self-conscious or what. But he always be doing this thing, man. All right. Getting people riled up. Alex has been dogging Microsoft from the beginning. Man, he done said some very disrespectful things, right? But that's what he do. That's my man. He goes to the release of the Xbox One X. And he runs into Aaron Greensberg. And Aaron Greensberg says, oh, yo, I know who you are, dude. And starts giving this. I think he gave the dude some swag and gave him all these Xbox Game Pass things. We're going to try to pump our resources into you to make you like us. And that right there, my friend, shows a serious disconnect from the reality of the video game community. They don't care what item or how many, or the volume of items that you put in their hand. They planted their flag somewhere. And because we are shallow, a lot of us are shallow in the gaming community, because we planted our flag somewhere, we're going to fight to the death, or fanboys will fight to the death, rather, to convince the world why my choice should have been the choices for all. And we're going to pound our chest to that and say, look, I bought a PlayStation 4. You didn't? Here's your problem. So if already people like Alex, regardless of how much he likes PUBG, regardless of the fact that my man was at the Xbox One X release, he will never consistently say anything good about the Xbox brand. He's going to take your handouts and say, "Give him, thank you," and go about his business. I hate to get political, but I've seen like I've had to do that a little bit more just to get y'all to understand where I'm coming from. Okay. There is the tax cuts that have been released by Donald Trump. Now, if you've been following the political sway, the liberal side of the fence is saying that these tax cuts will do us harm because they're going to dissolve in 2019 for the average Joe Schmo, and in 2020 they're going to hike up for the rich people. And then on the other side of it, the conservatives are saying, you know, regardless if that's the case or not, less money to pay to the government is always good. Okay. Now, where I work at, this has an effect on the demographic of the people that we interact with. Some of the clientele's consumers. We deal with clientele's customers too. So we got people that called in and said, in our distributions, we did not notice the Trump tax cut. What's going on? And we said, oh, hasn't been applied yet. When it's applied, we'll let you know. And they were very upset. And we found out that a lot of these people were the same people that called us up, that would like to call us up and just talk, have social conversations that said, hey, Trump is the end of the world. He's going to destroy the planet, all this other stuff. You had these same people calling us when Trump's tax cuts was supposed to be out there. They was calling us everything but the child of God. You guys are holding my money back. How dare you? But Trump is a liar and all this. And again, I'm not saying if he is or not. I'm just saying, listen to that. Listen to that. Like, they still hate him. They still hate him. But they're going to take his tax cuts just like with Bush. They still hate him, but they'll take his tax cuts just like with Obama. They still hate him, but they'll take that Obamacare if they got laid off. And they still going to talk their garbage. And this is the disconnect from the new regime at Microsoft. They don't care less how many Xbox One X's that you put in their hands. They don't care how much swag you give them at an Xbox One X release. They don't care what you send them in the mail. At the end of the day, a fanboy has already planted his flag with his console or his product of choice. And his job from then on out until the next generation is to dog yours. Thank you, Neverland. I'm just pickups to Neverland in the chat. So you've just wasted hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, trying to satisfy a consumer base whose mind share is somewhere else. You have to focus on your core first. Because when you focus on your core first, they do the free advertisements. They're jumping out the window for you, okay? And then as they see them jumping out the window, the casuals looking and they're saying, whoa, what's that all about? I want to be happy, snappy like them mugs. And then they come. But again, Microsoft, you got to understand that you cannot operate from a mind state of, I gave you something, I put something in your hand. Now you're impartial to me. Hell no. We're halfway through the generation. You can do that with casuals, because casuals don't plant their flag anywhere. But as far as a hardcore fanboy, someone that has been dogging you out dogging you out the whole generation. You're trash. You're garbage. You have no games. You think they're going to take that item, that they're that superficial, that they're going to take your item and not realize that what they've been saying the last 4, 5, or 6 months or 2, 3 years is out there on the web, and they're going to say, oh, because Microsoft gave me 3 months of Game Pass, what I said, all of that was fraudulent. But still follow me and click and click on my links and hit up my super chat. No! Now, you could call them superficial for other reasons for being a fanboy, but they ain't stupid. What is wrong with you, Microsoft? And a big emphasis on soft. Big ups, I'm telling you. Y'all carrying the right name now, man. Straight up. What is wrong with you to have that mentality? Who is doing your marketing? Who is in charge of evaluating the mind share? Y'all really, really need to get out of Redmond. I'm telling you. I said it last night. I just imagine Phil and Satya, maybe Mike Ybarra sitting there, you know what I'm saying, with the Seattle's best, their legs crossed and tapping their fingers on their kneecaps, and they're talking about how atrocious it is in Darfur and, you know, what they going to do in this region, and they're going to go to Georgia that's next to Russia and all this other stuff and help the kids there and give them free laptops and t-shirts. And somebody walks up to them like, yo, man, we got that spec meeting, you know what I'm saying, on the new Fable. You know, we need your thoughts and your suggestions to drive us. Oh, no, get out of here, man. We try and get protein paste to the kids in Haiti. Get out of here, man. You keep bothering us, we're going to cancel that too. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I don't understand. And basically what I hope that you guys get where we're coming from that DICE conversation is that yes, you do have to walk and chew gum at the same time. But when your consumer base is feeling empty, and they're not doing the promotion that you need them to do, then it has to be all hands on deck on that issue. And anything in relation to consumer-based confidence, you have to be cognizant of. And Phil doesn't show that he's cognizant of it when he gets on stage and he makes the competitor's experience feel more in depth and feel more invigorating than his own. Why get an Xbox? If the head of the Xbox in the gaming division says that Uncharted and Last of Us are the better experiences, why get one? Because I can't get that on Xbox. Why? And that's all we're saying. We're not saying that diversity isn't needed. We're not even saying that we really don't care about the kids in Darfur. We're just saying, get your priorities straight. Mike Ybarra, Phil Spencer. And Aaron Greensberg is my man. He bleeds green, but like I said, they handing out swag and everything to Alex. And no, and I'm not hating on Alex. Alex, you got it. And hey, man, you did your thing. But to see what I'm saying, see the trends? And what did Alex do? He got that stuff and he laughed at him, man. He laughed and said, I just finessed these cats. Come on. What are we doing here? Like Next Gen said. What is going on? Do you truly think you're going to be successful, Phil? I mean, because this is a game plan. Do you truly think you're going to be successful in purging what brought people to Microsoft's Xbox and bringing this a whole kumbaya camp? Y'all are in a silo. These are business terms that I'm using. So Phil knows what I'm talking about. And along the path, he's going to hear these words. Trust me. Because they're paying attention. Trust me. And they're just paying attention, not because they want to be convinced, but they're paying attention to feel the pulse and see when Next Gen and I and everybody else are drinking the Kool-Aid. They want to see when everybody else is drinking the Kool-Aid. So Phil, here's what I got to say to you, bro. You're in a silo. I understand the experience that you had with gaming, and I understand Satya Nadella's approach to where the Silicon Valley approach. But you got to have grit. You got to compete. Because that, unfortunately, that is the major currency when it comes into gaming. It's competition. You don't like it, too bad. You know what I'm saying? Potted meat comes from an animal. If you don't like it, then don't get something else. I mean, don't eat that. Go get something else. You know what I'm saying? Y'all try and do this, or I guess you could get vegan potted meat. So I guess Microsoft is trying to handle gaming with a vegan finesse. No, man, no. We don't want that. We don't want the vegan finesse done to Microsoft. We don't want you replacing grit with goop. We don't want you to replace grit with hugs. I don't want my console approach vegan. And that's what we're getting. From coffee shop Phil, we getting that vegan approach. Oh, it's my man Mr. Kima. My man Mr. Kima says, it's guys like you that will kill the Xbox brand, spreading your toxin, poisonous hate. Oh, man. Whoa, let me explain something to you, Mr. Kima, my man. When people sat there, and because Crackdown 3 was canceled, or no, not canceled, I'm sorry, pushed back, I was the first to say this was false rage. Because nobody within the Xbox community, and excuse my French, really gave two shits about Crackdown. I didn't care about Crackdown. I was interested in seeing the technology, and Crackdown was more or less fanfare, for the hardcore. And even when I play Crackdown now, as you can see in the video, you know what I'm saying? It's just mindless fun, okay? So I said to everybody, when I got the notifications that the Xbox community was up in an uproar about Crackdown being pushed back, not canceled, but pushed back, I said that was fake rage, and I was going to make people not want to buy an Xbox because we're sitting there saying that Crackdown was going to be the see-all, tell-all. So I get where you're coming from, Mr. Kima, that saying negative things about Crackdown is going to be is bad. Or saying negative things about Microsoft is bad for the Xbox brand. But let me explain something to you. I don't know if you have any kids. I do. I have 3 of them. Okay. And whenever you have kids, sometimes you got to grab them up, even in front of people, and say, yo, look, here's the deal. We are in this environment. Let me show you a short story, and then I'm going to move on. Because Mr. Kima brings up a good point why I think people are divided and they're not catching our message. So my boys are silly, man. They're crazy. They're off their damn rocker, right? And their dad is too. So, it is what it is. One day we're at a restaurant. It's a restaurant called Pamela's. Matter of fact, President Obama went there, when he came to Pittsburgh. We're at Pamela's and they're cutting up, man. They're cutting up. I didn't have a vehicle at the time. I was by myself, And I caught the bus everywhere because Pittsburgh really isn't that big. And we ordered pancakes and all this other stuff. These dudes was cutting up. They was sitting there telling jokes and telling fart jokes and just saying all types of crazy, weird shit. And I'm like, yo, y'all got to cut it out. And they just wouldn't stop. So my youngest stuff, this nigga's crazy. This dude is crazy. This dude is crazy. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This dude says to me, I said, yo, cut the shit. Cut the shit. He turns to my oldest son and he said, ooh, where's the butter knife? Now, I couldn't help but laugh, but then I was like, nah, man, see, I can't let this fly. They got to understand that when they're in a public environment, that there's a way they're supposed to carry themselves, there's a way they're supposed to act. They're not going to make me look like a fool out here. And I had to hit them dudes up, and I had to give them a little something. You know what I'm saying? Now, on that same token, under your theory, Mr. Kima, because I did that to my kids, did that dissolve their brand or dissolve their ability to be able to go out in the public without people saying that they're horrible? No. All it did was it said to them that when they're in this environment, excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. But all that says is when they're in that environment, this is the way they better act. This is what we're expecting from you. I'm supporting you. I'm trying to groom you to let you know how you're supposed to act. And when we criticize Microsoft and Phil when he's on camera and he does stupid stuff, It's not hurting the Xbox brand. It's to convince him that, hey, when that camera's on you, bro, you're supposed to be putting our brand in the best light. We're doing all this non-profit work for you out here on a daily basis, dropping videos telling you how we think you're better than the competition. And you're not giving us no justice. You're not giving us no fanfare. That's what's toxic, Mr. Kima. Not us making sure that they understand where they lie when they're out there in front of the camera. Not just spitting on our efforts and kicking it in the dirt. So I get your point that us saying negative things is toxic to the brand. No, I'm not the CEO of Microsoft. I'm not the head of gaming. You can agree with me or disagree with me, Mr. Kima, and go about your business. But when the CEO or the head of gaming at Microsoft says something negative about his brand and is not putting his brand in a positive light over and over and over again, that has way more impact than what I say. And y'all got to understand that. And all we're trying to do with our collective voices is get them to get out of their silos and them realize that too. This is ridiculous. They know the Phil just got on and said, I'm not tone deaf. We ain't got no games. Is the mantra, but it's a farce. But yet you go on DICE where everybody's watching. They're watching to see what Microsoft is doing because nobody knows what they're doing. After Sea of Thieves, they don't know what to expect. And then because of that, they're watching everything that you do. And now they see that you're on DICE. And now that because they see that you're on DICE, they want to see if you got some way that you're going to puff up the Xbox brand. And what do? You don't puff it up. You push it to the side and talk about PlayStation. Now, how is that not being tone deaf? You just said a month ago before this happened, Phil, that you're not tone deaf. How is that not tone deaf? Mr. Kima, explain to me, how was that not tone deaf? Mr. Kima also says, DICE is not a gaming event. It's for business side of gaming. It's not for announcing new games. That's what it's for. That's what it was built for. But cameras are there. Mr. Kima, could you not have pulled it up on YouTube? Could you not have seen it? Cannot people see it all over the world? I don't care where you're at, Mr. Kima. And I get where you're coming from, bro. You hitting it with some hard stuff, even I don't agree. I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're at a baseball game with your kids. Whenever the camera is on and you're a major executive for a major company, you must always put that company in light. Let me explain this to y'all and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. There's a reason why I can't show y'all my image. Can't show y'all my likeness. And it's not just because my face is so damn pretty. That's part of it. But where I work at, because we deal with governments and we deal with high profile clients, I am not allowed to show my image or likeness on social media, with the newspaper or on TV without my company's permission. It's that crazy. It is what it is. If I were to even talk to a newspaper and use my name, I have to get my company's permission in order to stay employed with them. And I'm not even vice president there. I'm a what they call a section manager. I manage a certain sector of a business line. So even for me, I represent my company's brand, and they're so cognizant of that because of the high profile stuff that we deal with. I got to do certain things with them, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that I'm always honoring their brand, or I'm not saying anything that could be associated to their brand. So how come me, who's making pennies upon the dollar that Phil's making, can be cognizant of that? But a Phil Spencer, who is head of gaming at Microsoft, they're worth $560 billion. How come he can't be cognizant of that? How come y'all giving him a pass? Please. Check out my man, Nethel's video. It's bumping. I put it out in the chat. But big ups to my man, Mr. Kima. I appreciate you. And again, it don't matter what the event is for. There's cameras there. Like I said, you could be at a baseball game with your kids eating hot dogs, wearing shorts and flip-flops. When that camera comes on, and if someone asks you a Microsoft question, and you decide to answer it, or you're going to talk about your brand of your company, it better be in the best light, period. Next subject matter. You can see it right now on the screen. That Crackdown Xbox X Enhanced. I was going to do like a small medicine video. Yo, this thing is bumping. I was never the biggest Crackdown fan. I like Crackdown for the simple fact that they had the co-op measure. And there was a brief history with your boy. Way back again, I was with a group called the New Age Faction. And our job was to get more co-op involved in games. We petitioned for it. We was in front of GameStops, and we was a bunch of weirdos. But then as games began to induct co-op, then we no longer had a purpose. And Crackdown was one of those games that came out. You had Gears of War, you had Crackdown, you had what's the name? Rainbow Six, Vegas, a bunch of, and it seemed like Microsoft was real big on the co-op thing. And that's what we were doing. We were petitioning mainly Microsoft because we were like, hold on, you got this whole system link thing with the OG Xbox, but you ain't really doing no co-op, no separate screen co-op, except for brute force of crying out loud. So that's why I was interested in Crackdown. I never even finished the first one. The second one to me was just total garbage. I could never really get into that one. I never finished the first one, got far, and it was, again, it was just like, mindless fun. So because of that, I didn't finish it, but now that it's enhanced, you can call me superficial, whatever. I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, it looks real good. So if you have an Xbox One X, and you downloaded Crackdown, it came free. It was one of the first, I think, free-to-play games where games were gold. But if not, go pick it up. It's probably like $5 used somewhere, man. Go get it. This game looks good, and it's worth a second go around. Really good. The shading and everything, man. And then I ain't played it in years. It's just mindless fun, man. It's mindless fun. The problem with Crackdown is it was easy. It was too easy for you to get real OP too soon. The pacing really got bad, and hopefully they fix it in 3. But again, that's why I said I never was really big on Crackdown. The Xbox haters were real big on Crackdown and Scalebound more than the Xbox enthusiasts were. So that's that. And last but not least, before my wife kills me, I want to talk Horizon Zero Dawn hitting 7.6 million. Okay. That's a big deal, people. And it's a big deal because first and foremost, attach rates to consoles. It's not something that you always use as a barometer, but trust me, console makers that make games too use them as a barometer because, again, the money isn't made on the console. The money is made on the software that's sold on the console. So even though an EA or whoever doesn't care about attach rates, they just care about how many units are sold altogether, regardless of what console it's on. A console maker does care about that. If they got X amount of consoles out there, 50, 60, 70 million, they want to make sure that people are actually buying money on those consoles. They went through a lot of hard work to get them together. Sometimes they took a loss for a lot of them. And if they are not selling games on them, then it's a bust. You know what I'm saying? So to have a new game at that, that was developed by a group that was really, looked at and was like, they're really not that talented. In order for that to happen, have a 10% attach rate within 1 year of 70 million consoles being sold. That's hella fat impressive. Now, do I like the game? No. I think the game is horrible, and I don't like it being used as a barometer of a good game. But I can't deny its success. You know what I'm saying? I may not like seafood, but I know a lot of people do. So when I see seafood, when I see seafood seeing some real success, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hate on it. You know what I mean? So, and I apologize that everything is chopping up. It's crazy. My PC's cutting up. So it's a big deal. And one thing that I'm going to post it. I'm going to do another video about this. But one thing that I will say is hellified impressive is the development cycle that Guerrilla Games went through. They're using a new engine called Decima, which is very impressive. It won the technology award, I think it was, from what do you call those mugs? The technology award from Digital Foundry. And even though there were some issues with the game, the technology within itself is impressive. I did some research on it. I also did research on Killzone's prior development techniques, and their development techniques are hellified impressive. They actually released, like, I think it was a 60-page slide a while ago in 2009 or 10 that talked about the development cycle for Killzone 2 to Killzone 3 and all the impressive techniques that they use. And it's fantastic. I'm gonna do a link to it. Now, with that being said, do I think Killzone 2 and 3 were fantastic? Hell no! Games was garbage. But it proves to show that Sony does have a talent for picking up good technical people as far as visuals are concerned. You know what I'm saying? They have a talent for that because, again, they were a movie production company. And in my honest opinion, I think, and I'll flesh this out a little bit more in my video when I do it, I truly think that Guerrilla Games would be better served if they were more like an Epic, where they just provided platforms for people to make games. Because Decima is hellified impressive, opposed to them making games. Epic is good at making games, don't get me wrong. They're good at making games. However, Guerrilla Games' output isn't that great. But they are some of the brightest. You got to see this slide. They are some of the brightest and most talented technological software people out there. So check that out. All right, that's my wife pounding in the background. She's ready for me to go. Big ups to everybody. Hey, thank y'all for rocking with your boy. I hope you appreciate the material. Check out the links below. You know where to find me. Of course, all that good stuff. Support the broadband bullies. And you know what? Y'all have a wonderful gaming day.